Welcome all to On the Field, Off the Field. And this is a podcast presented to you by ASE Sports, LLC. And I'm your host, G. Watts, a.k.a. The Voice, coming to you live from Blythewood, South Carolina. It's currently Monday, November 20th, 2023. And very excited and very nervous to be presenting to you right now on the podcast, but looking to kind of get the ball rolling and hoping I can have some success behind this. So, like I say, my name is G. Watts. I'm the owner and operator of ASE Sports. A little bit more about ASE Sports is we look to specialize in consulting services for athletes and sports managers and sports organizations as well. And we do look to assist with understanding and involving their overall processes and procedures and to try and yield success in their respective sports segments. ASE Sports also looks to provide the most up-to-date information on our social platforms related to both on the field and off the field activities that can assist with navigating the sports industry as a whole. So that's a little bit about ASE Sports. This podcast is looking to be an extension of ASE Sports. Through some motivation from friends and family, decided to try to see what I can do, how I can work it, spin it to my liking, and hopefully, like I say, see some success. So getting into it, a little bit about me. I'm originally from Miami, got a scholarship to play college ball at Rutgers University in New Jersey. Came by way of Miami High School. Shout out to the Vikings. And at Rutgers, I played 3 years before blowing out my knee. I had an ACL, MCL tear, and it really wasn't much the injury. But after the injury, my knee got infected. So based on that infection, I had multiple surgeries on my knee. And after that, kind of decided to resign from football. Graduated out, got my degree. So, really love sports. My purpose is to get back around sports any way I can. Like I say, starting ASE Sports, which is a consulting service, looking to build got plans to try to build a sports facility that will be an extension of ASE Sports. So, got a lot of goals, got a big vision. So, just trying to work my way up, and hopefully, like I said, we can hit that mark. So, being on this podcast, you'll most likely always hear me talk about Rutgers University Scarlet Knights, the Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Like I said, I'm from Miami. I'm a hometown guy, and these are my current, my favorite sports teams currently. So you'll always, hear me cover them a little bit, here and there as a fan, and trying to be an analyst at the same time. So, but it's hard to be both. So, but I'll be talking about Rutgers. I'll be talking about the Miami Heat, the Miami Dolphins, and then I also look to include some information that can help athletes off the field as well. Today, I want to kind of talk about one topic that I read a good amount of articles about, which was athletes getting caught up in fraud, more specifically healthcare fraud. But nonetheless, there have been multiple athletes on the NFL side, the NBA side. I don't know about any other sports segment, but those two I know for sure that there have been multiple athletes charged, in the health care fraud scheme. So, and I think, obviously that's troubling because a lot of those names on there are big names. So when you kind of go through your career and you make as much as you make, to see an athlete, end up as they did, it's kind of troubling, and you kind of want to, talk about it, bring attention to it, whatever you want to call it. So, but I'll look to try to cover points about that. But first and foremost, Rutgers Scarlet Knights, hey, that's my squad, that's my team. I rock with them, but, we went down, I want to say hard, Saturday against Penn State. Penn State was ranked number 12 coming into the game. The final score was 6-27. To me, those are games that we got to win. You got the games that you're supposed to win, but then you got the games that you must win. And, Rutgers, we won, I think 6 games this year, bowl eligible. But, when you're looking at facing up against a Penn State team ranked number 12th in the nation, from my years, we had success against ranked teams. So, you want to see, them come out on top, to kind of, establish themselves as a dominant team around the nation in the NCAA. So, but looks like the offense couldn't really get going. The defense, they made some good plays. I think there was an interception, one of the plays, but they couldn't keep that momentum going. And Penn State put up just enough points, just to win it. So when you look at those games like that, Penn State, Michigan, the big games, those are the games that Rutgers is, not doing so well in. When you look at the teams that, the smaller teams, the Temples, the Wagners, like I say, those are the games that you're supposed to win. If you don't win those games, then it might be a problem. And I ain't knocking the other teams, but when you're a Big Ten powerhouse, to kind of establish yourself, those are the games that you win. So when you look at throughout this season, when you look at the combined record of the teams that Rutgers has won against, we're looking at Temple, Wagner, Northwestern, Virginia Tech, Indiana, and Michigan State. Michigan State wasn't a bad win. That's a big time school, but they're 4-7 this year. So, was it really that much of a statement win for us? And if they 4-7, then yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. So, but when you look at the combined records of those teams, they're 25-41. So that's 25 wins and 41 losses. Now, when you look at the combined teams, the combined wins for the teams that Rutgers has lost to this year. You're looking at Michigan, they're 11-0. Wisconsin, they're 6-5. Ohio State is 11-0. Iowa is 9-2. We lost against them last week. Penn State is 9-2. So for combined total, you're looking at 46 wins and 9 losses across those 5 teams. So, like I say, those are the teams that, Rutgers want to, really go out there and focus on, try to bring home, because, without winning those particular games, you're not really establishing yourself as dominant in the Big Ten. So, I'm proud of the team, the organization, for getting there. When I played, we was in the Big East. So, and not knocking the Big East, but, compared to like the ACC and the SEC, the Big East wasn't, that popular. So, but we did win some big games, throughout my career there. So, and I think we did, real well, to the point that you want to see, that continue to build, or them continue to build on that as they, kind of enter the Big Ten. If they can, kind of hit that mark, man, I think Rutgers, we could win for a good amount of years to come. So, but yeah, man, so Rutgers has their final game against Maryland next weekend. Only thing about that, when Maryland beat Rutgers last year 37-0. So it looks like a little bit of a payback game. You want to make sure you come into the last game of the season and you want to take that W with you. I think that's momentum for, the off season going into next season. You definitely don't want to lose a game against a good Maryland team. They're not that bad. So you want to make sure you kind of take that one home with you. So hopefully we could see Rutgers, take the win this Saturday against Maryland. So shout out to the Scarlet Knights. I'll be watching. All right. And before we move into the next segment, we'll take a little break. And we'll be right back with On the Field, Off the Field, presented to you by ASE Sports, LLC. Welcome back, everybody, to On the Field, Off the Field, presented to you by ASE Sports, LLC. And I am your host, G. Watts, a.k.a. The Voice, coming to you live from Blythewood, South Carolina. on this nice, cool night here. All right, and good to have you back if you stay tuned in. And in this particular segment we're going into, got to cover my hometown Miami Heat. Like I said, I'm that's my favorite sports team. I've been a fan of the Heat since I can remember. I believe probably around the age of 8 or 9. I remember guys like Thunder Dan, Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning, PJ Brown, Jamal Mashburn. From that point in time all the way up until now, I could just remember myself being a Miami Heat fan. So this particular season, the Heat is not doing too bad. They're currently now 8-5. They started the season a little slow, but went 7-3 in the last 10 games. So that was good to see them pick up momentum. Me and my friend was talking about it at work, and it was almost like he was saying that hey, it's still early in the season. They still gotta kind of gather themselves, and looks like they kind of hitting on some good cylinders there. Although we did lose to the Bulls Saturday, 97-102, which ended the 7-game winning streak for us. But it was troubling us I didn't see the game, but my coworker told me, man, we lost like about a 20-point lead. I saw we got outscored in the fourth quarter. And that's something that you might want to go back in the locker room and hone the guys in on, making sure you finish the game. You got to play through all 4 quarters until zeros are on the clock in the fourth. So hopefully Miami can continue to build upon the success that they have been having, and we see them hopefully in the playoffs this year. My coworker called it. He said they're going to the finals, so I'm gonna stick with him on that. We're doing pretty good, even though we didn't do too much in the free agency or the off season like that. We actually doing pretty good for ourselves. It was still a close game last night, and that was without Tyler Hero, who's currently averaging about 23 points per game this year. He had an injury. I forgot what game it was, but I know now they're saying that they're evaluating him day to day, and you're gonna be sure if you're Miami, you want to be sure you don't let him come back until he's fully 100%, because that caliber of a player, you don't want to force him back. You want to give him time to get right mentally and physically, because once he is 100%, the sky's the limit for us in a particular sense. I know we got some tough teams to run through, especially in the East. The East is kind of building up real big, so. But at the end of the day, I'm liking our team right now. Remember, that we can make a move before the trade deadline. There's always room for opportunity, I believe, to kind of improve our team. So, with Pat Riley, kind of in the front office, Spoelstra kind of running the court, I think they're making smart decisions over there to kind of keep the right players in place for us to be successful in whatever way we can. So, I mean, Jimmy's doing his thing. Bam's doing his thing. Shout out to Bam. I remember he first came in. He definitely wasn't as, you know, um, explosive as he is now. But you always saw those glimpses, and to see him come of age, as a veteran player, and I'm excited to see kind of what he does with the rest of his time in Miami. But yeah, man, still, like I said, a lot of season to go, a lot of games left on the table. So, I mean, definitely ain't counting Miami out right now. Definitely excited to see what we got for the remainder of the year there. Miami does have round two against Chicago tonight, November 20th at 8 p.m. Tune in if you can. If I can catch it, I will. But other than that, let's see how that one goes, and let's see if we, kind of let that other one slip through our fingers the other night. So, all right. Next, Miami Dolphins. All right. For all them Dolphins fans, y'all know we had a lot of hard years, and this year has been very exciting. Last year was pretty great as well. Even the year before that, I think we lost 7 and won the last 7. But this year's been real exciting to kind of see what we've been doing out there on the field. Offense is looking more explosive. Defense still looking real glued together very well. Although I think we could be even better right now, similar to Rutgers. What's going on is like we're not winning those big time games. When it's Kansas City, Buffalo. Who else we lost against this year? the Eagles. Those are the games that you want to win to kind of establish yourself to say, hey man, yeah, Miami, the Dolphins, they looking like the team to beat this year. So hopefully we could kind of put those games away for the remainder of the season. Let's see how we kind of finish up. And I mean, Tua and Tyreek Hill, they've been impressive. They continue to impress with their coordination on offense. Tyreek now has 79 receptions on. Let me say that again. Tyreek has 79 receptions for 1,222 yards and 9 touchdowns. So definitely loving the offensive output compared to the previous seasons before. Like I said, it looks like they're really opening up the playbook with the players that they kind of brought together. Tua, Waddle, Hill, Morstead. It looks like basically, somebody flicked the light switch over there, and they realized that, hey man, we got a lot of talent in our offense, and they put it to work. So definitely excited to see how Miami finishes up the season. The defense, they're making big enough plays to keep us in the game. We're sitting at number 12 overall in the league, 12 overall, 12th in overall defense. And we got playmakers. I really wish we was like higher than 12 right now. I think we got an opportunity to be the number one defense, really. So, but we just gotta continue to make the plays, big plays on defense. And there was a lot of short yardage plays that we give up. I think a lot of mistakes that get made, penalties play a factor into all that. But overall, I think our defense could be number one. So I'm hoping that we continue to, play hard out there. It's fun to see guys like Jalen Phillips, Xavier Howard out there. Definitely fun to see them kind of, go out there and really show out. So, but the Raiders, they made it tough for Miami. They stuck around until about the fourth quarter, basically, and I think it was about 42 seconds left before we knew we won. It was 13-20 throughout the fourth quarter. No team scored, and Jalen Ramsey ended up sealing the deal for us with an interception in the end zone. Shout out to him coming back from an injury and getting in the game and making a big impact early. So definitely can appreciate that from him, and I hope, like I said, they continue to build the defense around the talent that we have. And hopefully we see us shoot up to number one in the future. So definitely a lot of season left to play. We played about 10 games now. Give me one moment. Looks like we got the Jets coming up November 24th. Actually, that's a Friday night game. I ain't know that. That's going to be interesting at 3 p.m. Oh, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Never heard of that one before. So Dolphins Jets Friday, November 24th at 3 p.m. Oh, Thanksgiving game. Nice. Y'all got to excuse me for that one. That was I never seen the Dolphins play on Thanksgiving, so this is going to be crazy. This is going to be a big game, big day for us. So, all right. Sounds good to me, though. All right, but yeah, we got the Jets next. After that, we got the Commanders. So, yeah, I'll be there, man. Cheer the Dolphins on in person. Pull it up on your TVs if you can. Pull it up on your radios. Let's send some good energy down there to Miami. And let's keep the ball rolling. All right. And before we jump into the last segment, we'll take another break. And this is On the Field, Off the Field, presented to you by ASE Sports. Welcome back, everybody, to On the Field, Off the Field, presented to you by ASE Sports, LLC. and I am your host, G Watts, a.k.a. The Voice, coming into our last segment of the episode. And in this particular segment, as I mentioned earlier, I want to talk about athletes who have found themselves in financial trouble. More specifically, the athletes who have been caught up in the healthcare fraud schemes that's been kind of going around. And like I said earlier, man, these are like some big name athletes. Is I mean, probably some names in there you might not know, but for the most part, there was a good amount of athletes who seem to have had some success in their career. Have done well enough. You would think that they would have been straight, basically, in going into their post career status. So, I mean, when I looked it up the first time, I think it was about the NBA players. There were 18 former NBA players who were charged in a healthcare fraud scheme worth about $4 million. And I'm, just thinking to myself, man, and I'm pretty sure everybody was thinking, like, how did they let that happen? How do you find yourself in a position where, at probably one point in time you were making more money over the course of a few months than a lot of people make in a year. But you found yourself in a position where you had to kind of engage in this particular scheme, and they did it an extensive investigation, and they found these guys out to have basically defrauded the system. So I mean, when I was looking over the article about the 18 NBA players, you see names. Let me see, such as Terrence Williams, um, first round draft pick in 2009. He played for several teams. I do remember Terrence Williams out there. Um, Tony Allen played with the Celtics. Um, they say he was about to get his number retired, which is crazy. That's real crazy. Like, and then you got Sebastian Telfair. Y'all remember him? Glenn Big Baby Davis. I know y'all remember him. Um, Looks like Darius Miles. That was crazy to me. Like, cause I know Darius. Like, did he was like Showtime out there. So you would definitely think that through any endorsements, any salaries, that he wouldn't have been caught up in a scheme like that. They had Ruben Patterson, Anthony Roten, excuse me if I said it wrong, but looks like Shannon Brown. Dang, wow. So Shannon Brown was involved. I didn't see that name earlier. Shannon Brown was involved in it. I mean, yeah, it's crazy, man. The names on the list. It's like shocking to see like that these guys had to end up in this particular position. So it's like, man, when you're looking at retired NFL players, they got Joe Horn listed, Clinton Portis, like of all people. Like, I was surprised when I seen Clinton Portis, man. I was kind of disappointed, man, because I grew up watching him, since high school, kind of going to the games as a recruit. And it's like, man, dawg, that was crazy. I know he made a lot over his career. Then you got Robert McCune. They say he was the orchestrator of it. He was a former Washington linebacker. Um, I mean, let me see if I can find these other names. You know, Former Eagles running back Corey Buckhalter. I remember him. Like, it's crazy. Carlos Rogers. They got, Darrell Reed, Frederick Bennett. Now, those guys I really don't know, but basically looking at that, you kind of, ask yourself kind of where the guys went wrong at. And they do say, athletes tend to spend a lot, knowing that the money's coming in, and then they kind of not thinking about, what's going to happen if they get injured, a career-ending injury. They don't know what's going to happen, once they retire, and at that point the checks are not coming in as they used to, as much as they used to. Based on how you set yourself up, because there are a lot of guys who's kind of set themselves up for postseason, post-career success. So it's like you think, like, dang, man, how did it happen? So, honestly, it took me a while to really, try to learn about how to manage money. I'm still learning. So, and I'm not even going to lie. So, but when you kind of, making that much money, it's almost like you think that, you would have been, you would have set yourself up, man, for, you know, to be in a position to not have to involve yourself with some type of fraud scheme. So, but yeah, man. So I think it's up to, you know, mainly it's up to the athletes. These guys got to be able to manage themselves in a better way. Um, but more importantly, the people that surround the athletes have to kind of step up and, be a better voice in the area. Because, they say you get friends out of nowhere, you get family out of nowhere. Almost everybody's asking for something, or the athletes just want to do it out of, hey, I make this now, and, I want to, hey, I want to look out. So, but at the end of the day, it's got to be better voices sitting on the athlete's shoulders to kind of guide them in a better direction when it comes to their finances. And for any athletes out there who, may need help or support, with that part, there's a lot of information out on the internet. There's a lot of organizations who assist with really managing your finances the way they should be managed, instead of like, letting somebody do it. Hey, yeah, man, you're my money man. And next thing you know, the money man, don't invested your stuff in some bad investments, or they ran off with the money or something like that, or they spent it just as fast as you could have. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of resources out there for athletes who are planning for careers after sports. Um, there are resources out there that tell what's the best options for athletes heading into post a post sports career, or excuse me, a post sports world, as they said. So, but yeah, there's a lot of information out there that can assist athletes who need that particular help. Because and I encourage it, because when when you're making that much and it's going like that, it's easy to kind of just end up like those guys who I called out earlier. So, I mean, hopefully athletes are really taking it into consideration now. I know you got the NIL that allows college athletes to get paid. Hopefully somebody's helping them manage the money. I never had a problem with the NIL, but that was one thing I would say is like, hey, you should have a way where these athletes don't, kind of get a lump sum. It's kind of siphoned off to them, in a particular, time frame, until they become professionals at least, because they still got to focus on academics. I think it's that story, that one story with Angela Reese, who set out. People didn't know kind of what was going on. And now I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear because she had a 1.9 GPA. And Angel Reese, she's a big time star right now. Pretty sure she has a good amount of revenue coming in for herself. But at the end of the day, if you're not focusing on the academic side of things, then you're not going to get the academic benefit of being in school, or being in a university or college. So I highly encourage all athletes to try to seek financial assistance, seek out assistance, professional assistance with trying to manage your money, and also setting up a post career plan for yourself, so you don't have to kind of face that decline in income, or drop in income, or not having a place of employment, to really like propel yourself in your post career status. So, but yeah, man. So I guess that we'll cut it short here. We'll cut it here. Probably hasn't been short, but I mean, it's probably short compared to other podcasts out there. But like I said, man, we're just trying to work out the wrinkles and the kinks. Just trying to build myself up here. So y'all bear with me as I kind of work through it. And once again, this is, or has been, On the Field, Off the Field, presented to you by ASE Sports, LLC. I'm the host, G Watts, a.k.a. The Voice, signing off here from Blackwood, South Carolina. You enjoy the night. Peace.